What's up, manga fans? This is Raphael from C Manga, and I'm here to give you a review of this week's chapter of Bleach 574 Death in Vision. And I have to admit, it wasn't that great of a chapter in comparison to other chapters I've seen in this arc. It wasn't that great. It was quite underwhelming in terms of the content and the fighting. The action was kind of lacking, and it just seemed slowed down. I mean, it felt like another introduction chapter like the one we got last week. Don't get me wrong, last week's chapter was great. I enjoyed the introduction, I expected it, and I think it was a brilliant setup to this week's chapter, which I thought was going to be a fight. I mean, last week's chapter had the whole Kenpachi, obviously, declaration of him being the Kenpachi. He's taking on that mantle and that role more seriously. Him delivering the news of Unohana's death to Isane, her reaction to it, and then obviously Gremmy just gloating about his power being the best. Like, yeah, that's all textbook, like, writing for setting up a fight. We have like the whole banter and trash talk between two enemies. But this chapter just seemed kind of more of the same, more talking, less action, and the action we got wasn't really all that. I don't want to sound too mean, or maybe I'm coming off that way, I'm being a bit harsh, but that's the kind of the feeling I got from it. It just felt like I read through it and I was like, oh, it's over already. So I just felt like I could have expected more. But on a positive note, I'm glad we got kind of, some interesting points in there. I mean, one of them was like Gremmy's weakness seems to be revealed, the theory behind it, like how it's basically he can't focus his powers on several things at once. That's pretty much what the end of the chapter has stated. It's like he can only focus on one thing at a time, and then the other ones, the powers would eventually wane. But I'll get into that later, more detail about that later. One of the other things I found interesting was apparently Kenpachi's Reiatsu control and the state of Reiatsu. At the beginning, we see the Shinigami have sensed it. They were all happy, thinking, "Yep, he's here. We're gonna win this easily. Victory is ours." But one of the Shinigami was obviously smart enough to point out, "It's like, hold on, how comes we only sensed his Reiatsu after the fortress appeared and it risen up? It's like if Kenpachi was here all this time, we would have sensed him." And it's true, because Kenpachi's Reiatsu is wild, it's aggressive, it's untamed like Ichigo's, so they should be able to sense him from long before he's arrived. And yeah, from here it seems like he's somehow learned how to tame it and control it, maybe somewhat repress it. Hopefully we'll get more info into that. I saw there was this other theory about him being an illusion of Yachuru, which I think might be true, because Kubo is kind of good at doing, random stuff like that. But I'm not going to say much into that. I'll just wait and see if that's actually true. But yeah, at this point, I'm just going to assume Kenpachi knows how to control his Reiatsu. So yeah, most of the chapter was basically Gremmy using these powers. Like, it seems like the whole suggestion technique of the imagination still works. It's like Kenpachi said, "Can you heal your own wounds?" He's like, "Yeah, I just imagined it." He's like, "Do you think they can heal?" And then they healed. So it seems quite consistent that this imagination works on a gloat and a bluff. It's the same with when he brought out lava from his mind. Apparently, he said to Kenpachi, "Do you know what this is?" And it's like, "Yeah, I know what it's lava." And then it ended up being lava, which Kenpachi cut. And when he cut it, Yachiro was obviously in danger, or could have been hit by it. He's telling her to get out of here, but Gremmy's saying that her obviously bones are made of cookies, so if she moves, she'll be crushed by her and die. So yeah, Kenpachi goes on the attack again. He's put in the water cube, and apparently then a fissure opens up, and he's put down there to be crushed or suffocated for an hour, which Gremmy thinks would be possible. But Kenpachi comes out, smashes out of it, and says to Gremmy, "It seems like Yachiru's fine. I'm holding her, nothing's happened." So it's like you've lost your mind, basically, or lost your focus by concentrating your imagination and your mind on me. So yeah, that theory, obviously, of his weaknesses, he can't focus on more than one object or one person at a time. So him obviously using all those several different imagination attacks and techniques on Kenpachi, he's not focusing or looking at Yachiro anymore. So it's like the imagination power for that has faded and disappeared. So I can imagine Rose and Kensei are most likely alive now, and that imagination on that's worn off, because Gremmy is no longer focusing on them or even looking at them. So it seems like that's what the weakness is. If Gremmy can only concentrate on one person at a time, he won't be able to fight multiple enemies. But we still have to, you know, obviously wait and see what his Volstendig still can do. So I'll hold my judgment until next time if he actually reveals it, and it might be obviously an increase of his ability that he can use his imagination techniques on several objects or enemies at once, and obviously be able to do it with greater ease. So hopefully we'll as I said, get from more information on how his powers work, his weakness, and hopefully we'll see a Volstendig reveal, and then maybe the fight can end quickly, because I don't want it to drag out too long, because as I said, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that interesting anyway, if Kenpachi's going to end it with just one slice, because yeah, I just feel like it's probably a cannon fodder fight. Not to Kenpachi's most likely going to have a more serious fight later on. So yeah, hopefully Kubo can wrap this up quite quickly and fill out all the details that we need to obviously learn about. So yeah, that was the chapters for today. There's my predictions and my opinions about it. As I said, it wasn't great, but I did enjoy some of the points that were brought up and obviously info we were given. But yeah, as usual, you guys, I want to hear what your opinions are. If you got any prediction or comments about this chapter, leave them in the comment box below. And also, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more content in the channel, as you'll find various videos similar to this. And I'll speak to you guys next week.